What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Keeping It Real review. I'm your host, James, joined by Calvin, Jack, and Reese today to talk about Rian Johnson's Glass Onion and Knives Out mystery. Before we dive into the review, I just want to remind you all we are on Twitter at Keeping It Real UK. Give us a follow, and from there you can find links to all of our streaming platforms and social media on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and TikTok. Whichever app you use to listen to your podcast, make sure to follow us, like us, and give us a 5-star rating. Really helps us out. We're also on YouTube, and we'd love to have you all as subscribers so you never miss another video. Right, Glass Onion, the sequel to 2019's Knives Out. Tech billionaire Miles Bron invites his friends for a getaway on his private Greek island. When someone turns up dead, Detective Benoit Blanc is put on a case. Directed by Rian Johnson, starring Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Dave Bautista, Catherine Hahn, Madeline Klein, Kate Hudson, and Leslie Odom Jr. Did I miss anyone out? It's a stacked cast.
I can't remember her name. The woman who plays Kate Hudson's assistant. Did you say her?
Jessica Henwick.
Yeah, Jessica Henwick.
Yeah.
I love her. She was the best thing about that last Matrix movie. That sucked, but she was good. Right. Spoiler-free thoughts first. Reese, what did you think of Glass Onion?
Oh, brilliant. Loved it.
I thought that was going to be it.
No,
Calvin.
The first one was so good that they needed to kind of do something really good to kind of just match it, and I feel like they did. I might even like it a little bit more. I need to watch it again though to decide. Performances are brilliant. Like everyone in it was like really good. And yeah, it was just great.
All right, Calvin.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think I preferred it to the first one. I still think it was really good, but I did find myself having more problems with this one. Mostly, I just didn't click with the characters the same way. I know they're sort of meant to be like absurd, like they are in the first one, but I found the characters in the first one to be feel a bit more human, and I wasn't buying. I think I wasn't mainly into the whole friend dynamic. I wasn't buying that these people could ever be friends in any circumstance. Like they're just too different. And I think they then fall into sort of becoming caricatures. Because I know it wanted to be quite, this film, I guess, is a lot more current in what this type of people it's trying to sort of, satirize.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the cameos. Like I'm done with cameos generally. There were a few which I thought were okay, but on the whole, I was like, oh, there's too many people in this.
What did you like about it though? Wait, tell me something good about it.
Yeah.
We like to be positive here.
I think like obviously Benoit Blanc is the best character. Obviously, he's my favorite character. I liked sort of. This is going into spoiler territory.
Do you want to save your good things for spoilers then?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it was. That was like
Jack.
Yeah, I think like Reese, I think I preferred it to the original, like not like massively, but just I think it just inches it for me. And like what Cal said about the characters, like I thought that was great because I think they're an absurd version of like the type of people that are just around today, and they're the absolute fucking worst. Like they're all detestable people. I don't find myself like actually liking any of them as a person. But what I like about this and the last one is that what initially annoyed me about the first one, within like the first 15 minutes, I was like, yeah, I've got it. Like I know who's done it. And then they throw you loads of curveballs, but then like it is who I thought it was, but there's so much more to it because like he's like beefed up the story, and that was kind of the same with this one. Like I pretty much guessed almost straight away this is who it's going to be, but then there's loads of twists and turns throughout, which kind of maybe throw you off, but then you do end up coming back to it, and I just like it keeps you on like your toes.
I just don't think in this one there was enough
the whole
twists and turns, but yeah.
I don't know. I think the I don't know. Like I like in the first one, like the family dynamic is like it's a very like for these kinds of like whodunits, it's like a tried and true method, isn't it? Like all these people in this big house, and they all come together at the end for this big reveal. And I just like that this was a bit different. Yeah, I can't really say anything else without fucking spoiling it.
Yeah, I love this. Not as much as the first movie. That was my favorite movie of 2019. I think just a preference of cast, and like Calvin said, I much preferred the family dynamic over the friend dynamic. But yeah, I had such a great time with this. Thought the script was great. I did predict who it was, like from the outset, but I think that's very intentional in the film, because it's both of these movies haven't been like, oh, who did it, because they sort of tell us quite early on in both of them it's how they did it and why they did it, which is the real reveal. Yeah, Daniel Craig is great. I think he hams it up a bit more than he did in the first movie. I was seeing glimmers of his performance from Logan Lucky in here at times, where he's just a bit sillier. But yeah, he's got some great dialogue. The rest of the cast was great. I thought Janelle Monáe was fantastic. Really like Madeline Klein. I thought her character was one of the more likable of the bunch. And yeah, it was surprising. It was fun. I could watch 10 more of these movies. I think Rian Johnson just gets it, and I'm a big fan. So just keep liking my tweets, Ryan, and I'll keep singing you praises. Yeah.
Like the tweet that we do about this one.
Oh God, he better. It'll make my day.
Retweet the pot. Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery as of yet, which is understandable, it's only been in theaters for a week. It's going to Netflix December 23rd, which is a weird release strategy, but that is the one they've decided on. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, click off, wait until you watched it, and then come back and join us for spoilers. Right, Calvin, do you want to delve in to your spoilery thoughts?
Obviously, I did think the script was really tight, but it still has to be with the sort of subgenre you're playing in, like the whodunit. I loved when it goes back. It does the Reservoir Dogs thing, where it goes all the way back and shows you what this person is actually doing, like the reveal of the twin sister. That was quite cool. I did have some issues with like her accent just like being so. That's a tiny nitpick though.
Yeah,
but,
I didn't bother me. I thought it was
fun. But then I loved is them going through the same scenes and then showing like her or someone else sneaking in the background. I always find that really clever, because I have no idea how I would possibly even do that if I made the film. Like I'm just like, I don't know if they've done that. Like it just seems like so, I loved just solving like the boring little mystery really quickly. Like it's just so like Benoit Blanc. Like there's no way this is going to be smart enough to.
I was hoping he gets there and just gets it.
But yeah, as regards to like the characters, I know, like Jack said, that, I get that they are just a blown up satirical version of what we see today. But I just that wasn't what I wanted, and it's more so just preference on what I would have preferred. You can do that and make them despicable people, but I feel like the film, just they weren't human. I know they're tools and placeholders for a whole demographic of certain people, which for me, in this, I didn't like. I feel the first film does have that, but in a family dynamic, but there was glimmers of depth to literally most of the characters. In this, I only feel like they really give like a few of them any depth. Like I just don't feel like they felt human to me. Like they were just, a lot of them, like Kate Hudson's character, to me was just like, she's just ditzy and dumb and a caricature of the thing that they're trying to get across. And I know like it's modern cinema now where you've got to have laughs and stuff, but it just felt a bit too much for me in this. And then I say again that like I didn't find any of the cameos funny or the way they did them. I was just like, I feel like because Marvel has saturated that so much, every time there's like the Ethan Hawke one at the beginning I liked. I was like, that's quite
Well,
like because
yeah.
you can barely notice him if like
yeah, well, the
You have to know, like,
cameos,
Ethan Hawke, yeah.
I didn't
just-
watch any of the trailers for this, and then when I saw the Ethan Hawke cameo, I was like, oh shit, Ethan Hawke's in this fucking movie, and like I thought he was gonna be an actual part in it, and then he just
Yeah.
literally
And I
never
ca-
comes back.
and I kind of didn't like how having the pandemic at the start of the film.
I didn't like that.
It
either.
makes sense. It dates the film so much. Like I said, in like 50 years, when you watch this film, it's going to be so jarring. And for me, I go to the movies to get away from talking about that sort of stuff. So then it's in there for the first 20 minutes of your film, and it's one of the driving motivators for why a character like Benoit Blanc feels like he needs to get out and do something. And I was just, for me, it just didn't work. Like it was just not what I wanted. It's not that it was bad or done badly. It's just
I get
not
what
I
you
was looking for
mean.
going to watch that
yeah.
film.
Because I had that fear during COVID. I was like, there's going to be so many movies now with people referencing it and wearing masks, and I don't want to be reminded of what we've just been through.
People watching this film in 70 years' time, they're like,
it's a period piece.
Yeah.
There
was a
like
there was a pandemic.
Yeah, I haven't liked. I can't name any off the top of my head, but there's been a few things that have like made COVID like a thing in their movies or shows.
Yeah, like a plot motivator. Yeah.
Every single time it takes me out of it. And like I think
it's because we are so close to it. I think it's just already we just got out of it.
Yeah. But in this,
the only thing for this that go on.
The most nothing. Back on. Sorry, I was on the character still, but the most nothing character in me, to me, in this. In me, that's a very different thing.
That's the last part. That's the last part.
Yeah. So like Leslie Odom Jr.'s character, I just thought he was totally nothing. There was no point of him being there. He didn't serve any purpose. At least the other people felt a bit more active.
He was just that sort of. He was the one of the group.
He's clearly the best dressed, but like.
Yeah. For sure.
But his character was just like, I was going like 10 minutes at a time in the film, forgetting he was even there.
Yeah, I don't think
I felt even barely interacted with anyone.
I don't think any of them are as memorable as the characters from Knives Out.
No,
there wasn't a Chris Evans in this movie,
or even like Toni Collette. Like Don Johnson was great. Like
Michael Shannon.
Jamie
Lee Curtis. Oh fuck! I might watch Knives Out tonight. Yeah, I love this, but Knives Out hit me in such a way where I was like, that was so unexpected and fresh, and like just tight as a script, and I just keeps making these. Like
the first film does that thing where it keeps pushing and pushing. Like you get a reveal and it's no, actually it's this, and then you get that reveal and it's like, no, actually here's more. You get that reveal and it's like,
and there's the tension of the chase between like when you think Chris Evans and Ana de Armas are on the same team, and then there's the chase with the cops, and I think
it just keeps going and going. With this one, when it decides it's going to end, it ends.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did we all? I mean, I thought it was the only one that made sense to be the murderer was Edward Norton, but obviously going into it, we don't know who has been killed. That's the twist.
I think the assumption is that Edward Norton's the one who's going to die. I think initially. Like all these people go to his island.
Yeah, I think the trailer.
Oh yeah.
I think the trailer did a really good job of like making it seem like.
Actually, one of the trailers, I can't remember what I saw, but I might have seen it. One of the trailers showed him at the dinner scene saying he's going to die tonight, and then it showed him at a different scene when he sat on the sofa saying something else, and for some reason. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was a clip I saw, but that made me think, oh, he's not going to be one who dies. So there was something I can't remember what it was, but there was just like a subtle thing.
I just didn't think it'd be him because they're like, it's going to be me. And I was like, well,
Yeah, I think that
Ryan
was
Johnson, he's
what
not going
brought
to
it
be
into
the
obvious,
lead.
yeah.
Well, that whole like scene where he is about to do one of my favorite parts about both these films are the parts of the movies where like Benoit Blanc almost like plays the fool, and like
Yeah.
he kind of implies that maybe he's not as good as everyone thinks he is. Like the bit when he spoils the fucking game by, like, I say playing the fool, he absolutely fucking nails it. But like he's still playing that character of like, I don't.
But it's that bit
know
where
if
he's like, oh, do we win something?
Do we win that, Pat? Do we win that, Pat?
Yeah. The thing about Benoit Blanc as well, if you actually strip him back and just look at him on his own, he's quite a menacing character. Like in this film, he lets her do her own thing. Like, you know, you've got to do this, which is a character moment, but he's putting her in like direct harm's way. He knows this place is going to blow up because he's put that chess piece there for her to do this. Like, it is the thing with most detectives. Like Sherlock Holmes is quite, you know, he doesn't really understand how other humans' minds
too
work.
mind on the case and not.
Yeah. They're you kind of get some from this. You actually look at it, and he's quite like, you know, she could have died.
Yeah.
Many times.
I don't
Like,
know how much I
they're
actually
responsible.
liked the ending of this one. Like it was, you know, it was the scene itself was great with the also smash and stuff. And it was very like, you know, it's fun to watch. But I kind of like
Cathartic.
seeing, you know, the bad guy, the villain, kind of getting there comeuppance. And I feel like you don't really get that. You get them turning around and going,
Well, no,
Yeah.
his whole
No,
business was.
yeah, but like
I thought
I
it
don't
was,
think.
but like we
I
know
don't.
how
I don't.
we know how rich people get away with things all the time in real life. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's no way
Yeah.
that, you know, they
Yeah.
I would
He'd
have liked
probably
to have
get
seen
off.
him.
I
I would have
did.
seen him being arrested. Blah, blah, blah.
I did really
feel
like.
you needed
Well, I
that
think
tie-up.
the idea is that they're all going to go to court and testify against
Yeah,
him.
but I wanted to see
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? I feel like it's
Right.
not
But that's a
satisfying
whole.
enough for me.
That's a
It's
whole
implied.
extra bit.
Yeah, don't need
I
that.
think I liked the end, and it felt a lot bigger
Smashing.
than the last one. But then, like, there was a part of me where I was like, "This is Netflix money. Like, what's happening here is he's got all this fucking money. The Netflix is going to make like whatever."
Do you feel like they
9
went too
more.
big?
Well, I
Maybe-
don't. Think they
I
went,
didn't
I don't
really-
think they went too big, but then I was like, okay, if they are going to get, maybe he went too big. If they're going to get bigger and bigger every time, because if he's going to make what I think he's making like 2 more at least. Where'd you go now? Because you can't get bigger than that, or it's going to be stupid and it's going to not fit.
The
with
glass
tone.
smashing didn't majorly do anything for me. To be honest, I felt like it went on just a little bit too long. And yeah, the big, I sort of got on with it as it started going, and they all started getting involved. You know, and the sort of big explosion, and then like it kind of blowing up, but not really. Like everything's on fire, but nowhere near them. And I was just a bit like, okay. And you can tell that's set fire, you know? And then I don't know why that last I preferred in these sort of things, I prefer this like a whodunit. I prefer like a smaller ending when it's just characters like going back and forth, and like, you know, all this is getting revealed. I feel that's much more interesting than
I didn't
people
need it,
smashing
but I
up a
think
place
they
and then
set
blowing
up
it.
they set up the explosion earlier with what this element is, and like she says, like people's houses are going to turn into like bombs, like go up like the Hindenburg. So it was set up, but I get what you mean. I preferred the more scaled back,
character-driven moment
of the
with
first
dialogue
movie.
and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You talked about the characters. They're all basically, you know, the stereotypes of people that exist in the world. They're not very fleshed out. We do find out that, you know, they're basically all in Edward Norton's pocket. That's why they're friends. That's why they go into this island. Then they're not really as friendly with him as it initially seems. It's because he's bankrolled all of their careers basically into, because he was the loser in the group, wasn't he, at the start when I thought that was hilarious when it flashes back to when they're meant to be younger, and they just
Yeah, they all got hair.
look the same. Edward Norton's rocking that Magnolia outfit, which looked hilarious. But yeah, I did like that reveal of like this guy is. I mean, I don't think there's any secret. He's supposed to be Elon Musk, like, and you know, like this guy, he's not a genius who's earned this place in the world. He's an idiot, and if you just the whole thing about the glass onion is like, you know, you're peeling back the layers to see something that's been very evident the whole time. And I thought that was a good theme, because at the end when he does, Benoit finally snaps, he's like, this guy is an idiot. Like this, it's so plain to see. And like he has his moment, and then he leaves it to Janelle Monáe, and he's like, fucking cause chaos. This is your win.
It all works well in terms of theme.
Yeah.
And everything. Like, but I'd say Rian Johnson, I would say one of his biggest strengths is working with theme usually.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and digital cinematography, because his films always look amazing.
They do. Yeah. Oh, anyone else got any last thoughts on Glass Onion before we give it a rating?
Well, the only thing I haven't said that I want to say is that I think you already said it. I thought Janelle Monáe was fucking class in this.
Oh, she was so.
The first shot of her, I was like, oh, she's our Ana de Armas of this movie. Perfect.
Has she been in much else? I don't really know.
She was in Moonlight, Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I haven't seen Hidden Figures. But yeah, after watching that, like every time she was like going for it, I was like, yeah, scene stealer. So I hope like she does more shit like that. Not like this, because it would probably be the fucking same. But yeah, I hope she's like in more now, because yeah, I thought she was fucking great.
Reese?
Oh, I was gonna say the same.
She crushed it.
Show every scene she's in.
I mean, I was like, if the other actors in the cast, I think if they were given the material she was, they would have given better performances. But I think they are supposed to be thin, and
Daniel Craig as well. It's like having fun. I feel like when you watch him in James Bond, he's like.
That's why when Logan Lucky came out, I was like, Daniel Craig is wasted on Bond.
When you watch him in something like this, he's just loving what he's doing. You can tell. He freaking loves turning up and messing about. You know what I mean?
He shines in a weird role.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, now that he's no longer tied to Bond, I can't wait to see like what more shit that he does apart from these movies.
I was gonna say more of these. Let's go.
But like, I don't even care. Like, even though he's tied now into another franchise, I still don't care. Like, I'm good. Like, this is a good franchise to be tied into.
Oh, this isn't as like demanding as Bond, because like I remember for like Spectre, that was shooting for like 10 months. It's
I mean, this film he rocked up to Greece for a couple months at the fucking time of his life by the looks of it. Just went home.
Yeah, done.
So yeah.
All right, Calvin, do you want to start us off with the ratings out of 5?
I enjoyed it, but I had some problems with it. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5, which I think is fair. But the first film's a straight 5.
Yeah, Jack.
First film's. Based on that, I think the first film for me is a 4, and I prefer this one, so I'm gonna go 4.5.
The first film's a 4.
Yeah, it's a strong 4.
A 4.
Yeah,
strong
it's like
4.
a very almost
a donut.
So rigid star.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because I don't know if I like it more than Knives Out yet. I might watch them both. Might double bill it when it comes out. And then
nice.
I think a 4.
I like I said, I do prefer the first film, but it's genuinely just a preference in some of the cast members and sort of the family dynamic over the friend dynamic. But I also have this at 5. I thought this was fucking great. Like, I wish I had time this week to go and watch it a second time, and I'm gutted I have to wait a month to watch it again. But when it's on Netflix, I think it's going to get replayed so many times. I love Rian Johnson. I love him. He doesn't do wrong in my eyes.
Give us his Star Wars trilogy. That's
honestly, that man's too good for Star Wars. Keep fucking making Knives Out movies.
Make them. In case he listens, make them, Ryan.
I do want them, but as long as he's just doing his own thing, creating art, then that's all good with me. Right, that is it for our review of Glass Onion, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more movie reviews. By the time this goes out, we should have a trailer reaction for Super Mario Brothers. Got a review for Disney's Strange World. Tomorrow, another episode of our podcast drops. And then within the next week, there'll be some more reviews and whatever. But until then, keep it real.